Okay, here are my final thoughts on these, and I'll make it quick. I'll give these an overall rating of 3.5 out of 5. They work as intended, but for $39.99 plus $11.99 for shipping, I think $50 is kind of steep on top of the fact they've got the poor fitment. I'd like to see these at either 30 or 35 bucks out the door, or I'd give these a 5 out of 5 at 20 bucks with the shitty fitment. I honestly would be happy with that. I'm not trying to get something for free. So there you have it. And like I said, this is not a sponsored part. I didn't get these from Quadratec for free. There's no affiliate Amazon link in the description. There is absolutely zero incentive to give a positive or even mostly positive review. I'm free to say whatever needs to be said. Oh, that reminds me, I want to try something. If you thumbs this up, it will help my video, but also it will maybe the YouTube algorithm will kick in and get this video to Quadratec, and they'll fix this for other Jeepers. And here's another thing. A lot of you are ultra intelligent people, but for the casual watchers, don't thumbs this down because you didn't like that the product had poor fitment and it was overpriced. I don't own Quadratec. This is not my product. I'm just delivering a critique about it. That's like blaming an independent journalist for the shitty things going on in the world. In my unwanted opinion, here are the reasons to thumbs it down. A, because you're just a bitch ass hater. B, it's complete disinfo. Or C, I left out a gang of shit and you're just anal retentive as fuck, and I didn't cover every single little thing. And if you do thumbs it down, be a grown person and just put Y down in the comments. But either way, I'm still gonna make videos because I like it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see some of y'all wheeling this weekend over at the Pine Trees, and I'll talk to you later. Peace. Just a heads up on these Quadratec bus bars. On the positive side, on the negative side's fine, but on the positive side, it looks like this bus bar is just a little too long, and what's happening is it's interfering with the terminal back here. And as you can see, this post is now at an angle and it won't sit flush. So you're probably saying, well, you know, just get a socket on there and tighten that son of a bitch down. Well, I actually tried that, and what it ended up doing was bending this terminal. So it was all cocked this way. Yes, it sat flush, but then the bus bar was at this angle. So what I had to do, or what I'm thinking of doing, is I'm going to remove this bus bar and then shave down the back of the bus bar so that it sits flush. Because you can barely see it, but you can tell there. I'm sure you can pick it up on camera, but see how that's not sitting flush and it's at an angle? It shouldn't be like that. Let me show you on the negative side how it's supposed to look. See how here on the negative, that post is perfectly flat and making perfect contact with the bus bar. That's what it needs to look like. Right here. Perfectly. My headlamp's in the way. Well, there you go. Here we go. Right there. See, it's perfectly flat. This post, perfectly flat on the bus bar. And that's how it should be. So negative side is perfect. And at first I thought, oh, well, maybe there's a negative and a positive. Well, there's not, because I tried this one on the positive side. That didn't work. I flipped this post upside down. I swapped posts. I've done everything. But, I mean, it's very clear to see that it's hitting on the stock terminal back there. Here, let me take it off and show you what I'm talking about. So this is how this comes apart. I'm doing this with one hand and I don't want to drop this post. I've already dropped it once. Put this down. And Here we go. So the back of this bar is making contact with this lip. So I'm not going to modify that factory terminal there, but what I am going to do, and I shouldn't have to do this, but I mean, these things were 40 bucks. And it just allows you to add more accessories is all. And it's a nice looking kit, don't get me wrong, but for 40 bucks, and this is like CNC machined, a computer did this, or in a CAD design, drew it up and then cut it out. They should be able to compensate for this little lip here. So I'm gonna file down this back edge just a little bit and see if I can get it to sit flush. Right there. So again, I tried cranking it down on it and all it did was bent this post. See how the back of that brass bar is hitting the factory terminal, and it's at an angle. So when you try to put that top post on, it won't go on flush. So I'm gonna trim this, see if we can get this to fit better. But again, you know, this is 40 bucks. You get 2 of these for brass, and you know, 2 of these posts. So in my opinion, I feel like it should have fit right, but if anyone else is having this problem and it won't sit flush, it's because it's hitting the back of this terminal. That back lip right there. Right there. You see that lip? That's what it's hitting. I just did 150 and then it took longer, but then I just stuck with 400, but then I feel like I was more accurate doing it this way instead of going 150, 250, 300, 350, 400. But anyway, so this will speed things up, and then you can kind of contour and smooth it out with this. But the biggest thing is you want to do this on a flat surface. So here's a sanding block, here's a piece of wood, but it's a perfectly flat surface. If you don't use a flat surface, what's going to happen is your edge will be all wavy, and you don't want it to be wavy. You want to be perfectly straight, flat, and contour it to the battery terminal. And if you take your time and go back and forth to the Jeep and then to your workbench, you can really almost get this thing perfect. I mean, you could really geek out and make it so it's perfectly contours the terminal. So I'm going to put this back on now. Okay. Let me turn on my headlamp. There we go. I'll bring you in a little bit closer. But now, look at this. With very little effort, 1 finger effort, it's sitting perfectly flush now. With very little effort. It's on there, perfectly flush the way it should be. And again, all I did was trim the back of this bus bar. So anyway, there you go. It's just a heads up. For 40 bucks, I feel like they should at least fit perfectly. If anyone else is having this issue, here's a quick and easy fix. But what should have been like a 5-minute install turned into like a half an hour installation. So all right, so here's how it turned out. I'll post up some high definition pictures up. Negative side, fine. Positive side, just fitment problem. Just sanded it down a little bit, shaved it down, and it's sitting perfect now. It's sitting flush where it needs to be. Cables are looking good. I might go back and just do some better cable management here, but I think it'll work for now. And yeah, well, there you go, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace.